Hello and welcome back to the Mania 7K World Cup 2024 Semifinals weekend. This is our 285 and Potassium F in the commentary booth, here to present you a losers bracket match between the Titan Japan and a team that wants to prove something, the Russian Federation. Well, what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, we're at a stage in the tournament now where we're seeing seed number 5 in the losers bracket, and Japan is a scary one here, especially. Russia, though, have been performing quite well, I would say, overall, making a little bit of a losers bracket run so far, I believe defeating Indonesia just last week. So this is going to shape up to be an interesting one, and I think there's always going to be this exact same kind of dichotomy between the teams when we see Japan, especially because this is a team that excels, one of the best teams in the entire world, top 2 easily in terms of rice. But when it comes to the LNs, I think that's where Russia is really going to try to punish Japan's relative weakness.
And we saw that last weekend with a thriller of a match. I mean, we had the defending champion of the Philippines face Japan last weekend, and the Philippines won, barely won it 6-5, which is the reason why we are seeing Japan here in the losers bracket. On the other hand, Russian Federation, I think they just want to prove that they're still well inside the competition. I mean, if I am not mistaken, this is their furthest run in a 7K World Cup. I don't remember seeing the Russian Federation reach the semifinals weekend as yet.
They do have a very strong team this year as well. We've seen some of their players in particular. I know Meiju has been putting up some fantastic LN scores last week, so that's definitely bodes well for them here against Japan, trying to punish those LNs. And we can see already protecting LN3 right away. Although I'm not sure if that's exactly the one that you would want to protect against Japan.
And they're banning the OSA original, alright.
I expect Japan to ban LN2 out of all of these LNs that we're seeing. But Russia, they could ban any rice map. That would be fine, honestly.
Yeah, basically anything, yeah. And I presume Japan should have protected Rice 4
Yeah.
Voyage, yeah.
That is what
and there you
they
go,
have
LN2.
Yeah, Japan have been protecting the core jack pick every match so far, and they've also been putting up some ludicrous scores. I'm sure everyone remembers some of those in the previous weeks on the core jack. So if they keep that up, you know, it's a very well-deserved protect from Japan. And just putting it kind of bluntly here, I feel like if Japan don't have some kind of massive mess up, they should be expected to win all of their rice picks. So it is up to Russia right here to try and pick up every single LN and hybrid that they possibly can.
Indeed. And at least right now, it does appear that Russia should have the pool pretty much open for them. But really what makes this interesting is this indeed does go the distance. The tiebreaker might present a dynamic that we discussed prior to going live. But we'll talk about that if we get to that stage, as we're now seeing Japan open up this match with their protect and what we presume will be the most insane team score of the weekend again.
Yeah, Japan not messing around at all. They're just going straight into it. They're like, okay, let's just go. Let's just secure this point. But that said, I mean, we always say there's potential for misses. There's potential for big chokes on all these core jack picks. But at least so far in this tournament, Japan have not been the team. I don't know if they've even gotten a single 200 on these core jack maps so far. Maybe this is the week. Who knows? Maybe if Russia is able to hold on to the full combo, there's a chance, but definitely Japan favored.
Oh yeah, I mean, at least from what I've observed of the past few weekends, Japan has gained a decent following among the crowd, like just because of these insane core jack scores. Like what we've been seeing like over the past few as well, like Korea and Japan have been battling for that number 1 spot on the team score, for Rice 4 or Rice 3 back during the time when we were still on best of 9.
It's always funny to see the insanely high accuracies. I mean, they make it look so easy, but that's just kind of the nature of these picks. They are the snapping, at least, the timing is very simple to try and sharpshoot. but these maps are definitely not easy. So we are generally not expecting to see many full combos, and right out the gate there, Karace finding an early miss there on the side of Russia. Oh my god, Butanic. Oh no.
Well,
don't do this.
what is? Don't say you forgot to turn off autoplay.
Yeah, Timobuka also finding an early miss there on Russia, but it's not looking like Japan is going to trade. I can't take my eyes off that. When is that going to break exactly?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it went down to 99.99.
And then
so
back
I
up.
think that might be the. Oh, yeah, there you go. It's back to 9.99.
The break section.
So I presume it's
on the map.
Yeah, long back.
We can definitely see a very clear difference in comfort here. Russia not faring as well as in terms of the accuracy as well as that combo. Both players on 99.2 about. The lowest AC on Japan, Rain Lily 99.88, still finding this just as easy as the round of 16 picks.
I think I remember someone mentioning that sometimes it make like big chords make reading chord jacks easier in a way because you end up just reading whatever's in between. I'm not sure if that's the case for like these players.
No, I think that there is something to that, yeah.
Yeah. But I cannot say anything because I can't play chord jacks at all. And here we go. The density is starting to pick up yet again. Regularly, you keep climbing back to 99.9. Alright.
And we're seeing the beauty that is the Japan chord jack performances here. Coming up once again. And it feels like at this point, this is basically a done deal here, as it always should have been. Japan charging for 99.98 still. It's crazy that the break section there was what Butanic was struggling with the most. Struggling is a strong choice of word there. Unfortunately, another miss there from Russia, but it does feel like this one is locked in. Nothing else does matter the rest of this map here.
Yeah, it's just going to be a sub 20. Sub 20 gold 300s. I feel like that might be the case.
I think you might be right. We'll have a look. Rain Lily is also increasing the ratio as well towards the end of this map. Both players on Russia still holding above 99, but not quite going to be enough here.
Alright, here we go.
53. Two 200s from Rain Lily.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, another 999 performance from Butanic.
Yeah. I think everyone should know why. We keep on. I think we all know why now. While Japan keeps on protecting the core jack pick.
Yeah, I mean, because if they don't protect it, people are going to ban it, right? Like after seeing stuff like this, how can you not ban it? But the protects are there for a reason, and Japan making full use of them here, managing to pick their most comfortable one out of the way here. That's their own pick win. And it's up to Russia now to try and find an answer. It's going to have to be one of these LNs. And in particular, I'm looking at LN1. That is one of those that I feel like Japan might not be as comfortable with. But they're instead going with LN3. They're going with their protect right away. And I'm not so sure if this is a good pick.
I'd say maybe they're just going to look at Japan's ability to keep up with the more denser picks. I mean, the hybrids do get to this kind of density as well, like some parts of them. I guess they just want to avoid LN1 for now, mostly because it might be a safe pick it's going to be a safer pick should this match go the distance.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it again as well, maybe LN1 just also not very comfortable for Russia. I know Meiju can definitely put up some strong numbers, but they might lack a second that can really put up a strong release score performance, whereas this one might be a little bit more comfortable for Russia's other players as well. And Rain Lily being subbed out for this one as well. We're seeing Ensana coming in here. Of course, this map, I don't know how you would manage to play it with a controller, but
yeah,
Rain Lily finds a way sometimes.
I mean, just to note, from what I've been told, 3 out of the 4 players in Japan's team do play with a 2DX controller. And yeah, if you guys are surprised why Botanic is in here, I mean, we all know Botanic's prowess with Rice in general, but what everyone seems to not pay attention, what a lot of people seems to not pay attention is that Botanic can also LN,
Especially
especially
on
that
the
we're
H.
getting, yeah,
Yeah, the higher
yeah, we're
higher
getting to this
difficulty.
level, high difficulty LN.
We see early misses from both of the Russian players here. It's going to give a little bit of a lead over to the side of Japan, but Ensana's accuracy is struggling quite a lot, so it's keeping things fairly close, only 4,000 points.
But I mean, we'll see what's going to happen once the actual density starts to pick up. The Buka finding a drop there though, which is not really something that Russia wants. Though it's still a pretty early drop, but
Made you with another one.
yeah, but they have to get through these denser sections just fine if they want to gain a point here. And Southern Britannic actually maintaining full combos here. All right.
Yeah, and the accuracy dropping from both of the Russian players now below Botanic, and Botanic actually finding a miss there. Very clean one though, so it's not going to affect the score too much just yet.
Not yet going to be enough. Especially with Russia's pretty like early mishaps. But we'll see, because we're coming into the guitar solo where the patterning gets a bit crazy. Botanic finding yet another drop. Insana actually dropping to almost 99% flat. Almost everyone getting through this guitar solo just now. Major and Dibuka resetting their combos, unfortunately, and that should give Japan a bit more breathing room, leading to the final chorus.
Yeah, now Japan extending their lead 24,000 points now. Botanic still with the highest accuracy in the lobby, definitely helping them out as well. And it is also Russia finding these misses here and there that's really hurting them overall.
Play. Well, if you guys think that Japan is not an LN team, well, here you go.
Yeah, they're really starting to come alive in the LN picks now, it looks like. And we're getting into the harder pools as we're getting one more drop here by Russia, but we have the denser part now. We'll see if Japan can hold on to their lead and their combos, but looks like Timabuka and Meiju both finding the misses for Team Russia. Gonna actually start to increase the lead in favor of Japan.
Well, regardless of whatever happens in the ending of this chart, Ensana's score is definitely insane. Pun intended.
We can
You
definitely
just
see
got quiet
why. Yeah, I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
Before I comment. I've seen this happen too many times. I don't want to say anything until the last note is done. But that is a nice FC from Ensana. Definitely can see why they were switched in for this one as well. But it is Botanic actually with the highest score in the lobby because of that accuracy, 99.37, despite that one miss in the middle.
Absolutely beautiful score there from Ensana. I was about to say Insana. Oh my god.
Insaner.
Yeah. And I
But that
presume
is
we're really coming back in. Should be Rice?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, Japan always going to be picking Rice, no matter what happens on the LN picks. That this is where they are most comfortable with. It's just really a question of which one do they want to pick, and there's still quite a few of them left over. Looks like Chord Stream is going to be the option that they choose. Tinnitus being picked here.
The other chord stream pick hasn't been seen yet on stream. I think the only charts that we haven't really seen yet are Rice 2 and Rice 2 and 5 for the Rice, LN 1 and Hybrid 1, I think.
We haven't seen LN2
Hybrid 1
either.
too, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we won't be seeing it
And-
because it's out 10.
Yeah. So we're going to see this one again. We did see this earlier in the first match, where we did see a whole bunch of misses throughout the map there as well, because, you know, stamina aspect, 3 minutes long, non-stop kind of chord stream, with just a short break kind of in the middle. But something tells me that Japan might fare a little bit differently than some of the other players that we saw in the other match.
Yeah, I mean, again, these two players are they're pretty cracked on Rice. I mean, we've seen them play stuff of very high level and be practically comfortable playing them. What Russia needs right now? What Russia needs right now is to be able to be consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to have to try and hold on to these combos as much as they can, but easier said than done here. This is going to be a tricky one to be able to get through. And it looks like Meiju's going to be staying in for this one instead of Karace, who is usually their Rice player. Okay, and we're getting into this one. Japan's second pick. Russia's going to need to, at some point, manage to take a break point if they want to come back in this match. But this one is... Okay, we're starting off with another 100 early on into the map here from Rain Lily. But it looks like all four players faring pretty well just before the chord stream really starts to kick in now.
And well, there you go, Buka finding a drop. And I think what we're going to be seeing from Japan is pretty much your standard Japanese race score, really. Unless something happens, and as I say that, alright.
Unless Rain Lily finds a miss. Rain Lily does find a miss. Doesn't drop accuracy too much though. Still 99.7 is very, very high. So that's traded out the miss from Buka earlier. And Japan's still in a little bit of an accuracy lead.
Well, I think like what we're seeing from Russia right now is like they're kind of well within a striking distance still. Just in case like we see a meltdown from Japan, which is very unlikely. But as long as they're keeping up, I think this is a pretty good run from them. Good run from them in general.
Yeah, just a second miss there from Buka. Going to increase the lead by a little bit, but we still, of course, have two full combos, one for each team right now. And Meiju holding on to some nice accuracy as well, 99.45. Unfortunately, not quite matching up to, Japan's accuracy. Not much you can do there, except hope that they drop it somewhere in the second half.
We'll see though, because again, we saw from the previous match the density of this chart does pick up near the end, where we might see some changes here, but it really depends on how all of these players are going to be handling themselves. And Japan is starting to pull ahead.
Yeah, and there goes Meiju's full combo there in the last quarter as we're getting into it. A little bit of an accuracy drop from Meiju as well. While Japan full steam ahead, they're not slowing down whatsoever. Another miss, or both Russian players starting to find the misses in the second half, running out of stamina.
And while I am not going to mention a certain name here, I mean, again, many things have happened.
Butanic, huge accuracy drop for the first time in a Rice map. Today, we see dropping down below 99.9.
You call that a huge drop, alright.
Oh my god, Butanic not at 99.9? Crazy. But unfortunate miss at the end.
Alright.
Look at Rain Lily's ratio though as well. Despite the few misses, that is... They're too comfortable at this. We need to buff the map pools. What's going on here?
Well, alright. Also, look at the consistency of Meiju and Buka's scores. Like, both 961k.
Yeah, strong scores from both of them as well.
Yeah.
Against, most other teams, we'll see later on for some of the other losers bracket teams in particular, but those are some serious scores that you would consider picking against some of the other losers bracket teams, but not Japan, unfortunately for Russia. And Japan's going to manage to move forward 3-0. Russia are going to be picking LN1. I think this one is probably one of their best picks out of the ones left over here. Potentially hoping that Japan are not going to be comfortable, and I think there's a pretty decent chance that Japan won't be comfortable on a pick like this.
The main thing though that Russia needs to needs to be um, needs to take advantage of is the first 2/3 of this chart where it's more on the slower LN side. Really. Like they need to be able to be super consistent there and just try to hold on once the main dense part of the chart kicks in. Because at least from what we saw from LN3, Botanic is capable of playing these denser LNs, and Russia just needs to extract as much points as they could from the presumably the parts that Japan is expected to struggle a bit.
Yeah, and it looks like we're getting a switch out as well. I wonder, Ensana being... Oh, they're switching out both, maybe?
So we're going to be seeing
Ensana and
Shana
Shanakis?
and I think so. Yeah.
Nope, Rain Lily back in. We're gonna get some controller players playing a map like this, or no? They're just signing.
I can understand LN3. They played in controller. I think it's so feasible. But stuff like this, okay, all right.
This might be a bit. It looks like maybe no one on Japan wants to be playing this map. Struggling to find anyone willing to come in the lobby.
Yeah. Just for the record, Botanic is the only keyboard player apparently in the Japanese team. Apparently.
It looks like they have locked in their roster. So Botanic and Sharnak is coming in. Meiju and Timabuka staying in for Russia. And we'll see.
Here we go. Russia. All right.
We'll see which team is least comfortable on this map, because that's what LN1 picks tend to boil down to sometimes.
Well, I was about to say before a certain notification comes in, Botanic and Sharnak is immediately finding a drop. Yeah, Russian Federation definitely wanting to make a bid on this chart, not wanting this match to be the last page of their MWC 7K journey this year. There we go, I finally got that in.
Okay. And we're seeing, misses actually from everyone just now. I was about to say Russia did have the 2 full combos just before that point of the map, but the earlier struggles for Japan definitely paying off in Russia's favor. They have that 29,000 point lead. So they're just going to have to hold on to these accuracies. And Shanakis, big tank there, that section. We can see big difference in the accuracies overall, especially between Meiju and Shanakis right now.
Well, again, no surprises really. I mean, while LN3 is a different chart compared to this one, the patterns that's the thing with LN charting. Like you have like some of these crazier, longer LNs that could easily trip up a lot of players, and then you have basically what is an LN dump with LN3 and LN4, and still be considered around the same skill level at least. That's really what we get for this dynamic. Both Japanese players actually still maintaining very, very good scores just for the record. Meiju with the only 99 left. Well, it dropped, but it's not much of a drop though.
Yeah, I mean, Meiju's crushing this map in terms of the accuracy compared to everyone else. The second highest being Botanic at 97.9. So a full percent above number 2 in the lobby. And that's really carrying this score in favor of Russia.
And Russia will be grabbing their first point on the board, extending this match by at least 1 chart.
Yeah, getting on the board, very good pick from them, it looks like. Ended up being that much more comfortable with Japan, or than Japan overall here. So 3-1 now, and they're still looking for that break point to come at some point to try and tie up the match.
Yes, Meiju, you're welcome. Might as well recognize the shout out. But anyways, Japan do have Rice 5 and actually no, Rice 2 and Rice 1, 2
I
and
think
5 remaining. Yeah.
Rise 2 is probably the most likely, I would imagine, after seeing, that tinnitus team score that we saw before. That they look a little bit too comfortable on the quad stream. Why not keep it up?
Yeah. And
Rise,
mhm.
Rise 1 is still up as well, so I was thinking maybe they could decide to go for that one as well. But I guess the option is theirs. Or any of these 3 Rise maps would make perfect sense.
There we go. There go for Retine by a chart by ET Blocko. And I think again, as you mentioned, like, regardless of whatever chart Japan picks, they should have an overwhelming advantage. Surprisingly, Carrez will be coming in here for Meiju.
Yeah, I mean, Krace has been playing most of the Rice maps, at least so far in the tournament. So it makes sense that they are being subbed in for a Rice pick here. Maybe Meiju just not as comfortable. Tech, of course, very hard to be comfortable with as far as Rice skill sets go.
Yeah. And at least on what Carrez has been saying, it does seem that they are having fun with this chart. This might be their favorite of the pool, most likely, and that's why they're coming in. Whatever really helps Russia's gossip for this match.
Yeah, and I mean, Russia can definitely hope for Japan to find some misses. I mean, it's happened in some of the other maps as well, but misses by themselves might not be quite enough to let Russia have a lead here. I think Japan does need to tank their accuracy quite a lot as well, because their accuracy has been simply phenomenal on these Rice picks. Here we go, off to a good start from Japan. Russia holding 99s across both of their players, but Japan just doing a little bit better here, off to a 99.7, 99.8% start for them.
And I think that's pretty much a standard. Again, what we say is standard Japanese Rice score, really. As Buka finding a drop, I think that's the first drop as well of the entire chart. Carrez, on the other hand, actually maintaining a pretty decent combo, even with the accuracy. But again, like you see, the main difference really with a team with high caliber Rice players in general.
And Butanic actually finds a miss there, but accuracy still massively in favor of Japan right now. 52,000 points is just kind of gigantic. Still half the map left, but we are looking like a fairly comfortable Japanese lead right now.
I say comfortable is an understatement because they're still pulling ahead, but that's really the side effect of whatever increase in accuracy Japan keeps on making with Russia just keeping on making drop. It just makes it harder for them to catch up.
Yeah, act difference as well. Both Japanese players, 99.4 just about for both of them. Highest accuracy on Russia right now is Carrez with 98.5. So very far behind in terms of the accuracy, far behind in terms of the combo as well. Only one miss from Japan. And that's going to basically do it right here. Japan are going to manage to take their own. Oh, Rainlily finding a miss towards the end there. And actually, I think the only full combo there on Carrez's side.
Yeah. Surprising turn of events here. Japan actually not having 2 full combos in the Rice chart. Which is something which is actually a pretty weird sight. At least for this with this World Cup in consideration. Again, Carrez doing very well.
Yeah, accuracy does matter that much more when you have gaps this big, though. 200 count, 300 count. Very, very well in favor of Japan here. So with a very strong team score despite the misses, and 4-1, Japan are going to maintain their lead in the match. But Russia, they've got one more LN pick. I would assume they're going to go with LN4. Unless they want to try their hands at the hybrids.
I would presume that if, like, I mean, to be fair, after this, they only have the hybrids left.
That is true. I mean, it's going to have to go to hybrids at some point, but I am, scared of Japan on hybrids as well, because I think, despite, maybe I think these players not being the most comfortable with LN compared to some other teams, they can definitely hang with some of the hybrid picks, especially the hard ones.
I'd say this chart actually is a good prelude to the hybrid picks in a way. There's certain there's some mini Rai sections in this chart. I mean, it's kind of like the side effect of this being primarily focused on more shield usages, really. So it really depends now. If Russia wants a good sign going into the hybrid pool, they need to deliver on this chart.
Yeah, I mean, either way, they're going to have to be winning all of their points from now on, because, Japan still have a couple of rice picks that they can lean back on in their own time, but it looks like we have a bit of a disconnect, perhaps, from Butanic.
Does seem like we will be having another jump scare for the players.
Maybe, because the song is also not playing in the right spot, I believe.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right, yep.
And all the players being jump scared again by an abort.
Yeah.
But not much to be done, 1v2, not exactly the most fair.
Well, we should be going again in a few moments. Well, sometimes like stuff like this does get into your mind in a way. Especially for those who are not yet that experienced with tournament play, really, like these high pressure situations. But for these players, it's practically expected to be normal now that sometimes things like these do happen.
Yeah. Just pray that you don't mess up the second time. I know sometimes playing the same intro like twice in a row can, start to kind of mind block you in a way. But twice in a row shouldn't be too bad.
Well, that was a pretty rough start there for both Ensana and Buka. Botanic finding the earliest drop here. I mean, it's still pretty early. It won't matter too much, I would think.
Yeah, Botanic finding another miss, actually. But there goes both of the Russian players. And Ensana, the only one holding on to the combo early on into this map. But look at the accuracies. Actually, it's very close between these two teams. Everyone holding mid-98s.
Yeah, everything pretty much averaging out. Averaging out to the same level. And Buka finding another drop, which actually gives Japan some breathing with Botanic. Though Botanic did trade, it wasn't too much of an act drop from them though.
Yeah, I think the difference now is starting to be built up from Botanic, building up the accuracy a little bit, but there goes Ensana's accuracy, tanking quite a lot, and the miss as well. Meiju missing as well, and both trading once again. This is looking like the score lead is going to start shrinking a little bit. And both players, I think they've traded like 4 times in a row.
Yeah, and Meiju with the accuracy advantage. Though Buka actually dropping their pretty big combo. 2 consecutive there from Ensana. Though Botanic's accuracy still might still it's still making a difference, I would think.
Yeah, most of this difference feels like it's coming from Botanic's accuracy. Ensana and Buka are both having about the same, but Botanic is currently beating Meiju by about 0.5%. And with this combo as well, reaching 2,000. Okay, never mind.
Well, there you go.
There goes the miss. Double miss from Japan. That's going to start to shrink the lead a little bit. It's still less than 10,000 points. And another trade of misses from Ensana and Buka.
Well, here's the thing though, like, even though Botanic is missing, like, Botanic is still staying around that 98.9 level. Like, doing just enough to keep them afloat here. And especially with Russia just finding finding misses left, right, and center. Like, it's just helping Japan.
Yeah, Butanic's miss has been really clean so far. Like this one as well. You see 2 misses, but only drops down to 99.8. Still the highest in the room. Still above everyone else. And Ensana's also keeping up that 98, beating out Buka in terms of the accuracy. So these missed trades end up favoring Japan at the end.
There's still less than a quarter of a chart remaining. Anything could still happen. It's still pretty close. But, well, there you go. Botanic finding a drop, but it's still a pretty clean one.
Yeah, it's just too clean. There needs to be an accuracy drop along with these drops. Just a miss is not enough. When you have maps that are this long, the accuracy matters all that much more. And it looks like Japan might be able to hold on to their lead. Yeah, and it's going to be another break point here with Japan going up to match point.
That is a really good accuracy there from Botanic. Really good.
Yeah,
Buka
absolutely.
recovering back to
948K.
98%. Buka also recovering back to 98%.
But now it is going to be Japan match point, and they have their own pick. They've still got 2 of these Rice maps, I believe, being Rice 1, Rice 2.
And they're picking the delay chart. Everyone actually avoiding Rice 2 like the plague, surprisingly.
No one likes Rice 2 apparently right now. It's just Rice 1 being more popular somehow. And it is up to Russia now. Russia, if they want to come back, they're going to have to win 2 Rice maps now against Japan. And that is a tall task.
I'm actually pretty surprised that they have Japan of all teams is avoiding Rice 2.
Maybe just the individual patterns in it not being quite as comfortable. But yeah, you would normally expect, especially, you know, thinking about BMS controller players, I do usually think about chord stream being a little bit more comfortable for them than more rolly speed patterns like in this map.
Actually, now that I thought about it, a certain dynamic here, they might be hiding Rice 2 from their possible opponents tomorrow should they bring this home this chart.
Potentially.
Remember, this is
yeah. I mean, then again, their possible opponent, Australia's waiting for whoever wins this match, and I do believe that Japan probably just wins chord stream anyway against Australia.
Yeah, it's Japan.
It is Japan after all, yeah. I mean, after showing that Tinnitus score, I think you can kind of extrapolate that they're pretty good at the other chord stream.
I think pretty good might be an understatement of a lifetime.
They're not bad at the game.
Yeah, they're decent. Well, I guess we're going to be seeing how good of a team score we'll be seeing from Japan on what is possibly like the actual first proper, more of a delayed chart in the 7K World Cup this year.
And actually,
really finding a few drops.
Couple misses, but they're being traded by both players of Russia, struggling to maintain that combo. Buka actually dropping down to the low 98s, while Butanic currently crushing it, 99.7 still, and Rainley still above the accuracy of both of the Russian players. Has a few more drops at the end there by Buka.
Oh man, I don't want to mention the score on the upper left of our screen right now because I want to highlight this whenever we get to the point where we're going to be writing the news posts for the 7K World Cup. Yes, those are the thing. Please go read them. And I think this is going to be one of those scores that will definitely be highlighted because this accuracy on a delayed chart is crazy. Oh no!
Unfortunate. No. Unfortunate there. Everyone actually finding a miss right there. But that is just fine for Japan. Accuracy still both of them in the mid 99s. Rain finding another drop, but this lead is 76,000, 80,000 now. It's both Russian players finding the misses at the end of the chart. Not looking like there's any avenue to come back in this one. Japan looking to seal their win against Russia.
Well, regardless of what happens, like 99.5 on this chart is still super insane. I actually want to see the ratio here. Japan putting off a show to send Russian Federation out of the tournament.
Yeah, very strong.
Wow.
Actually, very similar accuracies between Botanic and Rain Lily. Both of them putting up insane accuracies for all rice maps. And that it just proved to be a little bit too much for Russia to handle here. It's going to be 6-1, another 6-1 scoreline that we have in the losers bracket here. Unfortunately for Russia, going to be eliminated here in the semifinals. While we're going to get an exciting matchup tomorrow, I think. Japan versus Australia in the losers bracket, this same pool. And I think there's going to be a very close match that could potentially turn out being.
We'll see though. We'll see though, especially the Elton pools. Japan has been knocking on that noodle-shaped door. I mean, that cup ramen. Actually, no, just instant ramen shaped door. And Australia, as you mentioned, that from what we saw on the previous match, I think that is Australia. That isn't Australia's proper noodle form just yet. Well, both Japan and Australia have their work cut out for them.
It's going to be a very interesting match there. But of course, congratulations to Japan for a super strong performance they're showing right now. And I believe the next match is not going to be too far away. We have about 1 hour and 18 minutes about from now. Got a couple of these matches going to be in a row here. Thailand versus Poland going to be the next one. That one also going to be a losers bracket match. So one more team is going to be eliminated from the tournament. And then right after that, a little bit after that, going to be our first winners bracket match in China versus Malaysia. So 2 matches coming up later today that I think everyone should make sure they tune into, because these ones could definitely get really, really tense.
And I'm pretty excited with the remaining matches of this weekend, because I think all of them have the potential to be very close if all of the cards fall in the right hands. But you know what kind of card you should use, because we're once again telling that the Osu Mania 7K World Cup 2024 team support banners are up on the Osu store. Again, you have the ability to buy all 24 if your finances allow for it. Even the teams that have been eliminated, you can still buy banners for them, as far as I know. And well, please support the teams, whether it's the country you live in or the country of your favorite players. If you happen to pick the team that wins it all in the end, you'll have that banner in your profile just a tad bit longer.
Yeah, of course. But until then, we're going to be signing off for about an hour, just over an hour. So make sure you tune back in for Thailand versus Poland here. Until then, we'll see you next time.